showtime.
Hey, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? This is a podcast about reality television and friendship. My name's Jake Shadell. This is a podcast in which I ask my best friend, Thomas Powell, if he did indeed watch a certain reality show. Hey, Thomas, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right, Jake. We're in week 2 of Halloween.
Oh, yeah. I love Halloween.
Everyone's favorite month of the year.
I love the month of Halloween. Do you know why it's called Halloween? Even though it's the 10th month? It's because it used to be the 8th month, and then it was called October, but then they invented Halloween and pushed it back a couple months because it was like, we can't have this much fun in the summer. So they changed the name to Halloween and made it the 10th month when they added 2 new months.
Spooky enough. Doesn't really make sense here.
Like, why are there skeletons in the summer? It doesn't make sense. We should probably change this. I think it's a smart move. Halloween's the best holiday, and I'll go to court for that. I'll go to court for Halloween.
No jury would convict me for saying that.
No jury would convict me for loving Halloween. Hey, if loving Halloween is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, then lock me up. Throw away the key.
Lock me up, throw away the key. Hey, Thomas, did you watch Survivor David vs. Goliath last night?
I remember what you slipped in my glass. We came rewinding when.
I sure did. Sorry, I'm just thinking about, like, a really good bit would be back in like 2016. If you went to one of the Trump rallies where they were sort of like chanting "lock her up," but you chanted "lock me up." Like, yeah, take me to jail.
I would love a call and response chant: "Lock me up, throw away the key,
lock me up inside."
Oh man. Okay, so invent a time machine so we can do that, please. This episode was called "The Chicken Has Flown the Coop." What do you think of that episode title, Thomas?
It's okay.
Oh, Thomas, you know what? Also, we'll get back to the episode title, but there's somebody on Are You the One this season named Tomas, and he sucks. So I'm going to stop calling you Tomas
like
so
me.
often. So "The Chicken Has Flown the Coop." I believe it was said by Christian. I've got a lot to say about Christian this episode. Just saying that right off the bat. I think it's fine. I think it's par of the course.
It's okay. It's a middle-of-the-road title.
I would agree. What was the first one called? Something else. May the Best Generation Win. Actually, now I don't even remember. And also, it's unimportant. So, the episode starts with both tribes trying to work through a torrential rainstorm. And I understand that it was a lot, but I felt like this scene went on for too long. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. I think it doesn't take us that long to understand that it is raining.
Yeah. Like, honestly, and then it's, like, still going on, like, several hours later. It's still happening. Like, that's all we need, but it was, like, the first 5 minutes, we get it. It's a hurricane or whatever. That's what the episode title should have been. It's a hurricane or whatever. I don't know why I'm not producing Survivor. I got some great ideas.
I mean, I think, yeah, if there's anything that this show has proven, it's that CBS are fools for not hiring you.
I would agree. I've got a lot of really good ideas. While doing my notes, I came up with
Jake,
an idea for
where
Blood
do you
vs.
get
Water
your ideas?
3. I mostly just take Jeff Probst's ideas and then make them slightly better. Because I'm a fan of the show, which means I'm better at the show than Jeff Probst, the executive producer and host of the show for 20 years.
Gotta get him out of there.
I legit will take over Survivor if Jeff Probst ever wants to retire, which he won't because he is immortal. I think Jeff Probst probably is the most likely candidate for the one and only. He's the Highlander of TV hosts.
Yeah,
he's the immortal one.
And what would the prize be? You get to host every single TV show. Like, well, there's no more hosts.
Host your TV show for longer than anyone else.
But in this scenario, wouldn't you be killing all of the other TV hosts in order to gain their
Highlander,
knowledge and eventually win the prize?
Hey, why do you think Tyra Banks stopped hosting America's Next Top Model?
It's because she was killed by Jeff Probst. They fought in like a garage with swords.
When you die in a reality show, you die in your career. That's a fact. So Nick and Christian go off to get bamboo on the David tribe. Christian says he's happy there's no tribal council because Nick was probably going home and he wants to work with Nick. I would not want to work with Nick.
Yeah, I don't understand why anyone would want to work with Nick.
I mean, he's a number and he thinks he's more in charge than he is.
I guess I understand with Christian, you're kind of taking the help you can get, but...
I don't think Christian has had any trouble getting help, though.
I don't know. He's a nerd. Maybe he thinks that the people won't like him.
Yeah, but so is Gabby. What a nerd. The nerds unite. The nerds shall take over the earth. Whatever. Fuck you. Play basketball. But I think Christian is using Nick more than Nick is using Christian.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that's, fine. I'm not a huge Christian fan, but I like him a whole lot more than I like Nick. Anyway, they name their alliance Mason-Dixon because, as Nick says, the Mason-Dixon line runs north of Kentucky, which is where Christian is from, and also north of Maryland, which is where Nick is from.
That's a weird thing to name your lines.
I think it's... I get it. I don't hate it. I thought the Mason-Dixon line was a straight line, because I think I confused it with that other line. You know the one. You're the smart one here.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, the Mason-Dixon line, I believe, wasn't that the line that determined the boundary between slave owning and, like the North and the South, where you had to cross the Mason-Dixon? Yeah, I don't know that I would want to name my team after the line where...
Well, Thomas, here's the thing. The two people who are in the Mason-Dixon alliance at this point are both from slave states, so I can understand why they think that would be okay.
Where's Christian from?
Christian's from Kentucky, and Nick is from Maryland, which I did not realize was a slave state until I looked this up.
I had to think about that for a second, but yeah.
I thought Maine was not Maine. I thought Maryland was a lot further north than Kentucky, but probably less than 100 miles.
I don't think Maryland was part of the Confederacy, though.
It's south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, I don't think they joined the Confederacy, though.
Look it up. Why on the one map I look at would they put that color Maryland the same color as the rest of the slave states and then have every other state like an orange instead of a purple? Oh, like the tribes. Are the tribes orange and purple this season?
Jake, they were not in the Confederacy.
Well, then why were they colored purple like the slave state?
They probably were a slave state.
Oh, they didn't join the Confederacy. I'm a stupid person who doesn't understand history. I wasn't in AP US History. Was I? I don't think I was. I was in AP English when we were in high school.
Because, I knew Virginia was in there, but, if they had Maryland and Virginia, they would have had Washington, D.C. then.
Yeah, that would have been fucked up, man. Man, America's crazy.
This has been part one of our history lesson.
Hardcore history, more like hardcore history with Jake and Tom. I know
that's what we're gonna call. That's what we're gonna call our podcast. We will not be sued for it.
I know the Dollop is already a podcast, but do you want to just do the Dollop? Where you tell me about stories from history? Ooh, or we could do it like My Favorite Murder, where we switch off. You tell me a story, and then I tell you a story.
The thing with us doing the Dollop is, they've already done a lot of the really interesting stories, so... Would we just also do them?
Yeah, but it'd be our fun
It'd be our fun take story. On it. I see. Well, I mean, American history is public domain, so... Ooh,
and we could call it American History X. That'd be a good name for the podcast.
I love it, man. I think this is a great idea.
America? I also love America. Straight white men. What a great time to be alive. And that's a fun thing to say because you can say it any time. And it's accurate. Where were we? Oh, both tribes receive a fire-making kit because of the terrible rain. Do you feel okay about them receiving a fire-making kit, despite battling the elements. Just because it was so much worse than they were expecting.
Do you think maybe they did it because of the safety issues that had already popped up because they stupidly went out on the boat when it was
so
when it was raining like that? So do you think maybe they're like, well, we don't want somebody getting like hypothermia or something because we already might be getting sued? So
that does make sense. It very much felt like it'll be easier for production if there is fire.
Yep.
So I'm okay with it. I also would have been okay if they never received it and it was just like, hey, that's this season. Sorry, buds. I would not have been upset about that. Over on the Goliath's tribe, Dan trusts Kara the most. Thomas, you know how I always have trouble pronouncing Kara's name?
Yes.
Well, in my notes this week, I spelled it Kare-UH, so I knew how to pronounce it.
Ah, that's one way to do it.
Because I'm a stupid person who doesn't know how to read. Alec and Jeremy realize that Dan and Kara is a showmance. Alec calls it a showmance, and Jeremy says, I think Dan is in a showmance. I think Kara's in a strategy. I liked that a lot. It's very obvious that Dan is way more into the romantic aspect of this game than Kara is.
Yep.
And she's using that, and I'm here for it. Who's the last showmance? Figtails?
I think so.
What about... what was last season? Ghost Island? Yeah, that wasn't ever a thing. What's the one before that? Triple H? Is anybody boning on Triple H? Let's stop talking about that season. It was bad. Where were we? The Three Women Alliance of Angelina, Kara, and somebody else realizes that they each have a close bond with one of the men on their tribe, so their alliance could very easily become 6 people, and they want to take out Natalie first. Who is my person for the Goliath tribe, Thomas? I don't know if you remember that, but I was not happy with this plot development. Also, did you know that there's somebody on this tribe named Natalie, and then there's somebody else named Natalia?
I was slightly confused by that, watching this episode.
I was looking at the cast list, and I saw Natalia's name, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Has she been on any episode yet?
Not to my knowledge. Maybe I just missed it.
Maybe it's like Carrie on Legion, where there's 2 of one person, but then they can, like, separate.
Could be.
Wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Then Jeremy looks through Dan's jacket and finds his idol. Jeremy does not believe that Dan is smart enough to use it properly. It is very stupid that he just left it in his jacket and left his jacket in the open. Like, yeah, of course it's going to be
no one's going to look.
Yeah, Dan, I can't wait for Dan to be voted out. He's probably going to win, isn't he?
That would suck.
No, I think a woman is going to win this season. The assumption is that whenever Jeff Probst doesn't go super hard promoting a season, it's because a woman wins.
Oh my god.
And
so one of his guys doesn't get it.
Yeah, he loves his boys. If Boston Rob isn't winning, he at least wants a man to win. Mike White says that having an idol is not...
Do you think that if a woman wins, he's like, I just think it was rude to Boston Rob.
Yeah.
They didn't
like,
let
this
a
is
man...
Boston Rob's prize.
They didn't let a man win.
Yeah. Like, he's apparently very mad that Michelle won wrong. But then he loved Triple H because Cowboy Joe won. What was his name? Mike? Dan?
Who did he want to win wrong?
Well, he wanted Aubrey to win because she's the new Cochran.
That's true.
So that's a bad example.
So like me, he wanted Aubrey to win.
Yeah, everybody wanted Aubrey to win. But guess what? Numbers don't lie, and Michelle got more votes in the final tribal council. So, just saying, winners ain't quitters. Michelle Fitzgerald. 2016? Great season. Mike White says that having an idol is not an advantage, having information is the advantage. Mike White, pretty smart. Mike White.
Yeah, he's good. He is very chill and is sort of like playing it cool, and people like him, so...
Yeah, I was very worried after the first episode because he was going a little too hard looking for that idol, trying to play very quickly. And I think he's kind of settled down since then, and people seem to be liking him more, which is good to see. I love Mike White. Put that in the record books. Mike White.
But when they, I believe they were... when they had the three ladies were having their little
wait, can I pause real quick? I just gotta say, the three ladies is such a great alliance name. Yep. Okay, continue.
They were when they're putting their heads together about what to do with that tribe, they mentioned that they thought Mike was trustworthy.
Yes, they did. Which I don't think he is he considered a part of the potential alliance that they were talking about?
I don't know. I know John is.
Jomo is aligned with Angelina, right?
They're like the shaman. We can get the shaman of sexy.
Yes. Mayor of Slamtown, and then not Angelina, the other one. Kara is aligned with Dan, and then the third woman is aligned with a third man who I don't think is Mike White. But you know what? We don't need to talk about that right now because they're not going to tribal council anytime soon. Back on the David's tribe, Davey says he has fallen into the provider role since catching that octopus. I like this scene with Davey a lot. He goes out looking for food and notices a tree that seems out of place and discovers an idol. He's very excited when he opens it and smells it and says it smells like an idol.
How would you know?
He's like, I know I've never found one of these before, but I just know this is what an idol smells like. Davey's great. Davey's going to win the season. Listen to our podcast, Davey, so you can guarantee it. Carl talks to a group of people about voting Lursa out first for strength. I don't understand why, but whatever, Carl. Elizabeth says in a talking head, when you hear your best buddy's name, you're not going to sit idly by. So she goes and tells Lursa, and then Lursa gets mad. She's like, I'm sorry, who from this tribe has won the only challenge we've won? Oh, it was me, that's right. Yeah, let's keep the tribe strong.
Yeah, this was a little too aggressive a move on Carl's part.
Yeah. I luckily
they should have just gone after Nick again. Isn't that who they said they were going to vote out?
Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, because they want to keep the tribe strong. Because they lost Pat, so I guess that's become a priority. But, whatever.
Does Nick really help them that much? Like...
I mean, he's a young man, so he's relatively strong, I guess. But it's like the other tribe has a professional wrestler. Yeah. You're not gonna win on
you're not gonna win on like sheer athleticism. Like that's a losing game.
Yeah, like you need smart, strategic people on this tribe, I think, because physical strength is their cup of tea, and apparently intelligence is also their strength, and also tribe unity is something they're good at. So the Goliaths are going to just be the merged tribe.
They're going to have to tribe swap so fast.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a bit. The Goliaths tribe, they go crab hunting and have fun at camp. Well, Natalie does not do that. Natalie's plan is to lay low and get along with everyone. She says it's working unless they're all lying to me. They're all lying to her. But Jomo wants to align with her because nobody would expect it, which sounds familiar from the David tribe when Lursa and Elizabeth aligned.
True.
I like this. I like this a lot. I like when unexpected people align with each other. Jomo tells her that her name has been thrown out, so Natalie then confronts everyone and tells them it would be dumb to take her out because she's no threat to win. So that's her strategy for the season. I don't feel great about
I don't know
Natalie
why
anymore. Jeff Probst sold her very well when he said, old black woman.
Yep.
And I was like, sounds good. I bet a lot of people are going to want to
sign
align
me
with
up.
her. She seems like she'll be a helpful alliance member. No, apparently she's just enemy number one. I think it'll come back around, though. I think people will realize that everyone's gunning for her and could use her as a number, and then they'll vote out Jomo or something. What a bummer that would be for you, but, you know, that's the way the cookie's going to crumble. Sorry, Thomas.
We'll see, I guess. They're going to have to go to tribal council for that to happen, so...
True. Jeremy tells her that she has trouble being self-aware, and she disagrees and does not listen to him. He tries to connect with her because they're both black, but she does not seem to care about that. Jeremy becomes annoyed with her and is now on the side to take her out. So it's not looking good for old Nat.
No, not so much.
It's fine. It's going to be fine. I'm still going to win all the points. She's going to win the whole season. She's going to be the first female black winner since Sapia in Season 4. 33 seasons ago. I hate this show. At the Immunity Challenge, Jeff tells them that the storm they experienced was a cyclone. And then he says that the weather moves fast here, but the game moves even faster.
The game moves even faster.
I want to punch Jeff Probst in the face.
Yeah, this shit writes itself.
Honestly. They have to climb a ladder that only has 2 rungs, get on a boat, and pick up some puzzle pieces, and then solve a block puzzle while balancing it on a platform that is in 5 sections that 5 different people have to hold up. I like the challenges where it's just like, hold on to this rope as you balance this puzzle that you need to complete. I think that's a very fun challenge.
I agree. This was one of their kind of hodgepodge challenges where they just have a bunch of different obstacles, but they were better versions of some of the obstacles that they do. Yeah,
agreed. The climbing the ladder thing, like, they've basically done something along those lines a lot. No, I don't think that exactly, but then the unlock a boat and then row a boat for 50 yards and then come back. Okay, I guess we are on an island, so we need to incorporate the water as much as possible. But, like, when's the last challenge that didn't have a boat? Oh, the first challenge of this season? Okay, fair. But it still seems like a trope or a crutch they lean on a lot. Anyway, remember that challenge where they had to run through the jungle and, like, find their fellow tribe member?
Yep. And
that one was so good, they need to bring that back.
And Run Through the Jungle was playing by Creedence Clearwater.
In the jungle, run through the jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Pretty good. I like that one. The Goliaths destroy the challenge. They win immunity and a fishing kit.
They tear down all of the obstacles that they worked so hard to build.
We don't want to do this. And Jeff is just like, okay, fine, you can win immunity. Thank you. What if the Goliaths were just really big, stupid people on this season?
That'd be pretty fun.
That would be fun. And then, I don't know, was David's character in the Bible, like, a very smart small guy, or was he just a small guy?
I mean, I think he was, like, clever, because...
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know, I think he might have just been a small guy. I think he just had faith in God.
Oh, that'll win you the season. Oh my god, how has nobody brought up God yet in this season? Gotta have God on your side. Maybe that'll be the final Tribal Council speech somebody makes.
Just gonna have God guide me through this game like he guided the stone from David's sling.
Yes, exactly. Thomas,
so that, yeah,
you're so smart.
So hopefully God guides me to murder everyone on the Goliath tribe, just like David did.
Exactly, with a slingshot. If they don't incorporate a slingshot in one of the challenges this season, it's like, what are you even doing? Do you think the writer's room, or whatever it is for reality TV, sat in the conference room and Jeff Probst read the story of David and Goliath to them? before the season started.
Something like that.
I really hope that was the case. So they win a fishing kit, and Jeff tells them Survivor's first ever fishing pole, which is not true. We just watched season 1 with the Super Pole 2000 or whatever. Remember that?
Fishing pole, POLL, is what he meant. It was they took a poll about what fish they like.
Mm-hmm. He just hands them a parchment and goes,
"Yeah,
guppies. Guppies
it's like
are
red snapper."
Is a red snapper in the South Pacific? Salmon. Clownfish. Got one. Octopus. Is an octopus a fish? Or is it an amphibian?
I don't know if that's like a mollusk. I think they might be a mollusk.
Is a mollusk a fish?
I don't think so.
You know what? I got Google right here. I'm gonna
because I don't think they have any. I don't think octopi have any bones.
Oh, tight. That's why they can change color. But they come from the sea, and isn't everything... Oh, my internet's not working. Okay.
I guess we'll never know.
I think octopus are really cool, and I want to see more of them on Survivor. Bring back Pajewski, bring back octopus. Octopodes. That's the correct pluralization
All right,
of that.
I am right. They are a mollusk.
And a mollusk is not a fish. What is it, a mammal? Shut the fuck up, Thomas. A mollusk is not a mammal. There's only 2 types of animals in this world, fish and mammals.
Oh, damn, I didn't know this. Okay, octopus, plural octopuses or octopi. So octopuses is technically correct.
I heard recently octopodes is more correct, but also it's like, who gives a shit?
Anyway, in general, any 8-armed cephalopod mollusk of the order Octopoda, the true octopuses are members of the genus Octopus, a large group of widely distributed shallow water cephalopods. Okay.
Yeah. Wait, were you saying you didn't realize the thing you didn't know was octopuses was the correct... Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those words that's like, hey, we know what you're talking about. People who are shitty about that are my friends in high school.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, never. Did you notice during this challenge that Jomo and Angelina both had their hair in braided pigtails?
I did not notice that Jomo did.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very cute. I love when the tribes do that kind of thing. It's tribe unity, as I was saying earlier. On the David's tribe, Lursa says, "Oh, this was so sad and so sweet." She says very quietly, "It's like they're invincible." I felt for Lursa so much in that moment. And then B tells them, "In my sport, it's not about size, it's about technique." B, and to B. I like her for that quote alone. I haven't seen
also,
much more.
That's very nice of her to say, but it is also about size a lot of the time in mixed martial arts.
Give me an example. How tall is Conor McGregor?
I mean, they still do weight classes, but so he's relatively similar size. He did just get his ass tapped out yesterday, though. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wasn't he talking a bunch of shit beforehand?
Yeah, you bet he was, because he knows no other way.
Remember when he threw a table at a bus?
Yep, it was at this guy's bus that he fought.
It wasn't a table, it was like a dolly, right?
Yeah, he threw like a dolly at him. He threw a child's doll. Which is why I thought it was funny. Like, I mean, it is kind of fucked up. The Khabib, the guy that he fought, is one of the, like...
Yeah, I love his song 18.
Yeah. He's one of the Dagestan fighters that, dictator there, of, Chechnya, Ramzan, Kadyrov, is like a pretty fucked up person, and so these guys like are kind of like it's hard to root for him because of that, but at the same time he's going up against Conor McGregor, who just needs an ass kicking. So but it wasn't surprising that there was like a brawl afterwards, because there is like a sense of lawlessness to those guys, but also because Conor can't not be a dick at all times, he did also, while he's climbing out of the cage, just sucker punch one of Khabib's trainers.
Tight.
Yeah, because he sucks.
Yeah, that's a cool dude there. I watched like a clip from their shouting match before the actual match. I don't think it was all in English. Like, I thought that Conor McGregor was speaking in, like... Is he Irish?
He is Irish. He has kind of a heavy Irish accent, but...
I thought he was, like, speaking in Gaelic or something, and then the other guy was, like, responding in another language that was not English. So I was like, oh, is this guy also Irish? Because I don't know anything about this dude. I thought they were, like, shouting at each other in Gaelic, and I was like, mixed martial arts is so weird.
Yeah, Khabib kind of looks like, he is Chechen. He kind of looks like, he looks like Mike Schur as Cousin Mose.
Speaking of Mike Schur, have you started The Good Place yet?
I'm all caught up. I just actually yesterday watched the second episode of the season.
It's fantastic. I love that show.
Jordals! From the show.
From the show, yeah. Maya Rudolph is in the show now, and she's so good. Adam Scott's in the show. Like, how... It's a great show. Another great show is Survivor.
Adam Scott, being a very specific kind of annoying person is pretty great.
Yes.
In order to, like... Just him turning to being like, hey, E... They're doing bar trivia tonight. The first round's all questions about Logan Paul, and I'm Logang for life.
Hey, you haven't responded to any of my dank memes.
Yeah. Which one is your favorite? Mine's Damn, Daniel.
I listened to the podcast, and they, like, the writer who wrote the episode was like, yeah, we made sure all of his references of the internet were, like, 2 to 5 years old.
Yep, it's perfect.
Okay, let's talk about Survivor again. Jessica says that she feels very comfortable in saying Lyrsa is going home. Later, Jessica says to Gabby and B that...
Almost like they're confident about that.
I know. Didn't say confident, but got pretty damn close. Later, Jessica says to Gabby and B that no one feels like talking because everyone's good with voting Lyrsa. It's pretty confident, Jessica. You don't want to be too confident, because you know what happens when you're confident. Thomas, do you know what happens when you're too confident in this game?
You win.
Yep, that's right. You win the most votes in the first tribal council. Gabby is nervous because she thinks that if they're voting on strength, she will be next after Lyrsa. Elizabeth and Lyrsa talk, and Lyrsa, who is mad at Carl, says, Whatever, he's going home. Ooh, boy, sentences are hard. And then Elizabeth says, or Jessica. Which, I like this turn of events a lot. Liz then approaches Gabby to work with her. Christian joins them. Liz explains that voting out Jessica takes out 2 alliances at once. One with Carl and one with the other person. B? Yes. Later, Gabby and Christian are sitting in the sand. Oh, this was the cringiest scene I've seen in Survivor history. Do you remember this scene, Thomas?
Enlighten me.
So Gabby is
It's a little Mike White humor there.
So dumb.
He wasn't in the scene, but he is on the show, so
it was good.
It was still pretty topical.
It was pretty good. Hey, do you think that at one point they'll have to go to a rock draw and the episode will be called School of Rock?
Sure, yeah.
I hope so.
Why not?
Right. Or School of Rocks would probably be better. Anyway, Liz then approaches... Oh, later Gabby and Christian are sitting in the sand, and Gabby is drawing in the sand, contemplating voting for Jessica over Lyrsa, and says to Christian, do you want to play with me? And then Christian, Marble-mouthed, says, oh, in the sand? And Gabby says, no, the game.
Ugh.
I feel like he's... Do you get the sense that he's trying very hard to seem like he's not trying to fuck Gabby?
Could see it.
I don't like Christian. I was like, turning on Christian, and this was not a good scene for him. But then, in a talking head, he says, Gabby is basically begging me to make the vote go her way, which is like a stupid thing to say. And then Nick says to Christian, I say we take Lyrsa out and stay strong. Again, stupid. And then Christian says he's the one to pull the trigger, and that's exactly where he wants to be. I've completely turned on Christian. I don't like him at all.
You better watch what you say, or he'll listen to the podcast.
Well, if he listens to the podcast, good luck to you, buddy. All right, Thomas, I think it's about that time. You know what time that is?
Are you gonna hit me?
With those wildlife shots, yeah, baby. First up was a small lizard that Davey squashed with his hand and then put in his bait bag, which, pretty smart. I'm liking Davey. There was also a spider, and a snake, and a blue-tailed skink, which is a lizard with...
Blue-tailed skink?
Yes, sir.
I thought there was a blue-tongued skink.
There's a lot of animals, dude. It is black with yellow stripes down its body. It is 1.5 to 3 inches long. When frightened, this is my favorite fact. When frightened, they can remove their tail, and it will continue to wiggle around to distract the predator.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. Females and young males have a blue tail. They have the same tongue flicking to smell that snakes do. The tail is a bright blue to distract its predators. A study was done where they painted different parts of skink models blue and then gave the models to birds, and the birds always went for the blue parts. Isn't that interesting?
That's pretty cool. It's evolution right there. That's how you adapt.
Absolutely. They build tunnels so they, as Wikipedia says, always have access to a hole.
That's how I live my life.
Here's the thing, though. This lizard is apparently native to Christmas Island off the coast of Australia, which is nearly 5,000 miles from Fiji, mostly over water.
Are they an invasive species or something?
I don't know. So either I looked up the wrong type of lizard, or the lizard has moved, maybe it's an invasive species, or Survivor has lied to us about the wildlife shots. Do you think they would do that? Do you think they would give us an animal from the wrong South Pacific Island?
Yeah, if they just... I don't know if they would do that.
I hope they don't. Like, it doesn't matter in the long run, but I like thinking that all of the animals we're seeing are from the island that they're on.
I do too.
And that's why I like them moving around locations, is because we always get different shots, like with different types of animals. Like, we're not going to get the same animals that we got in Africa, or the same animals we get in Nicaragua, although a lot of them are very similar. They're on the same ocean, sort of. Where's Nicaragua on the ocean?
I don't believe if it's on.
It's in the.
I think it borders
Central
the Gulf,
America.
doesn't it?
I think you're right. So it's on a ocean, but it's very close to the other ocean. That's Central America's slogan. Any country is on one ocean and very close to another.
We're near an ocean.
We're near 2 oceans. Central America. More seasons there, Jeff. That's my bid to you. If I take over Survivor, I'm going to make a point to fight for moving locations. Because, Thomas, since we've been doing this podcast, they've only been in 2 locations. Cambodia and
unacceptable.
They used to change locations at least every 2 seasons. And that was cool. It was cool, and now they're all in Fiji, and I'm just tired of it. And we're going to be here for another couple years. Whatever, who cares?
It's all bullshit anyway.
Yeah, fuck this show. At Tribal Council, there are a lot of shots of the decoration and the set, and I think it might be the best Tribal Council set ever. It looks like a place they would make sacrifices. Which, as I was writing that out, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense, because this is a season based on the Bible. Jeff talks about how a family is starting to form. Fine, whatever. Lyrissa says, apparently I'm the weakest link. Weakest link. There we go. I will say, I love you, Lyrissa, but you are thinking of the wrong show from the early aughts.
Yeah, that one did not make it out of the early reality show.
Did you know, though, that there was an episode of Weakest Link with Survivor contestants on it?
That doesn't surprise me.
I think we talked about it when we were covering Borneo.
Yeah, I do wonder if the original, if the British version of the Weakest Link predates Survivor.
I think it does. I think they took the host from that one.
Yep.
Jessica says, I don't think you should wait until Tribal to start playing, and if that's the way you're playing the game, you need to recheck yourself. What did she mean by that? Why did she say that? Who was waiting until Tribal to play? Anyway.
I don't know, man.
Were you, calling out Lyrissa, who's been, playing very hard and working very hard?
Yeah, I don't really know what she was going for with that.
Whatever. She's only 22 years old. What? She's 19? Whoa. Gabby says to Jessica, I think everybody's been playing. Christian then says they need to think about the tribe because I don't think they'll be swapping us anytime soon. Ghost, I looked up recent tribe swaps, and I don't think that they should tribe swap anytime soon this season. I think
they're gonna have to if they lose 4 in a row.
Yeah, they will, but I kind of want to see the Goliath tribe just demolish the David tribe.
The Goliath tribe is going in a team challenge up against 2 David tribe members.
Yeah. It's like Lyrissa and Elizabeth are the only ones left, and then they go on a winning streak, and then there's no merge ever. Where were we? Oh, Christian says we're not going to be swapping anytime soon. Ghost Island had 2 swaps. The first one was after 2 eliminations. The second was after 5. Triple H had 1 swap after 3. Game Changers had the same as Ghost Island. Millennials vs. Gen X had 1 after 4. I think that's a good time if you're going to do one. After 4, I think is the earliest you should do it. Co-Wrong only had 1 after 5. I think that's also good. I think tribes need to be well established. Because I don't like when people are playing for the swap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Cambodia had 1 after 2 eliminations, and then another one after 6. I think if they waited for 6 people to be eliminated before doing a swap, that would be really cool. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's probably going to be not this coming episode, but the episode after that. That's my prediction. So then they vote, and the reading of the votes is very well edited, I think.
I thought so too.
Lyrissa gets 1, Jess gets 1, Lyrissa gets another, Jess gets another, and then becomes a little confused. Then Lyrissa gets another, and then another, and Jessica becomes relieved and a little smug, and the music starts building like Lyrissa's going to get the next vote and be out. And then Jessica gets another, and then everybody starts looking around like, what happened? And then the final vote is for Jessica. So Jessica's out.
Yep, and then they cut to Carl, who, not surprisingly, is very surprised at what happened. I
loved it, and I have never really thought about voting like this, but they accumulated this majority to vote out Jessica. So it's 5 versus 4, right? Mm-hmm. Now this same alliance is 5 versus 3. Like that. The fact that the minority has now become fewer people, that's good for that group of 5. I think I'm usually rooting for the underdog, but the underdogs all came together to vote out the other side. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just thought it was cool. I like this show. That's all I'm saying. And her
I can't imagine why you thought it was cool that the person that you picked didn't get voted out.
I thought it was a pretty neat thing that happened, that my person didn't get voted out. I luckily, I saw a spoiler on Twitter that Jessica was out before I watched the episode. So I was feeling okay throughout the episode. But I was still like, when that music started to build up and it made it seem like Jessica wasn't getting voted out and Lyrsa was, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I misunderstood what that tweet was. But I was pretty happy. In her exit interview, Jessica says that she will be voted out. She will take being voted out as a compliment because they saw her as a threat. No, that's not why they voted you out, Jessica. Okay, let's get into points. I got a point for Lyrsa surviving. You got a point for Carl surviving. I got a point for Natalie surviving. You got a point for Jomo surviving. And then we forgot to pick the rest of the things.
Yeah, I realized that. I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't remember picking anything else.
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that. So we've both just got 2 points this week. And then...
Alright, so be it.
In my spreadsheet, I just wrote in all caps, bolded, whoops, for everything else. So, let's go through and make predictions for episode 3 of Survivor David vs. Goliath. You know, the more I say it out loud, the more I'm into this theme. As stupid as it is, it's very fun.
It's dumb, but, like, it's a good kind of dumb.
Yeah. Okay, Thomas, who will win the next reward challenge, assuming there is one?
I'm just gonna keep going with Goliath, honestly. I have no reason to pick against them.
I completely understand. I'm going to do the same thing. What will the reward be?
So they have already done tools to build a shelter, tools to build a fire, and a fishing kit.
Correct.
Off the board. I think they're probably going to do food this time around, so I am going to say pizza.
Pizza, okay. I'm going to say chickens. Live chickens.
That is also a good choice.
Who will win the next immunity challenge?
I'm gonna also say Goliath.
I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the season. You gotta pick them.
Yeah.
To make it official, I will also say Goliath. Like, I want us to pick different things so that there's, like, more of a disparity between points.
Just gotta go with the smart money.
It'd be stupid to vote against the Davids, or the Goliaths. Freudian slip? No, I'm just stupid. Who, though, will be the next person to be voted out?
I'm gonna hedge my bets and I'm gonna say Carl.
I was also gonna say Carl, god damn it.
If he's going to get voted out, I at least want to get one more point for it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he overplayed his hand.
I think you might be right. I think you're wrong, and I think it's actually going to be... Oh boy. I'm trying to think of anybody else in that alliance who I don't like. Who all voted for Lyrsa?
Didn't she only get...
She got 4 votes.
She did get 4 votes, yeah.
So it was Carl, Jessica, who's gone, and 2 other people who are definitely on the show. You know what? I will just say Carl, because it's the only person's name I can remember.
I'm getting a point either way, so
yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
Smart. Okay, Thomas... I look forward to this next episode to see how many points we've won. I think we basically picked the same thing on all of them.
I think we literally did pick the same thing.
Except for the reward.
The reward was literally the only thing that we didn't agree on.
You know, it comes down to 1 vote so often in this show, so it makes sense. Oh man, remember last season when it ended in a tie like it did on the actual show? Oh man,
Fitting.
Remember my come from behind win during Co Wrong? just like Michelle. Man, what a fucking great show this is. Did you watch Survivor last night? Survivor, pretty good. Okay, Thomas, let me tell you about the challenge. Because it's finally getting decent. At one point in this season, Johnny Bananas said that they had to trim the fat, and this season has had a lot of fat to trim, but they finally have. So now things that happen actually matter. So you might recall from last week I told you Amanda and Zach won the last challenge, meaning they get a double vote. Amanda is aligned with the Lavender Ladies. Remember earlier you were talking about the Three Ladies Alliance? There's actually an alliance called the Lavender Ladies.
My very creatively named Three Ladies.
I don't know why they would name it anything else. You know, the Survivor Wiki has pages for alliances, and they have the names of the alliances there.
You should put one up for the Three Ladies.
The Three Ladies, whose names we all remember. Angelina, Kara, the third lady.
Is it Natalia?
I mean, if she's a person who exists, yeah, sounds right. Zach, okay, so Amanda is aligned with the Lavender Lady. Zach is aligned with Johnny and Tony and that alliance. So they're always fighting. These two people from the same team. Jose and Devon are in a swing vote. So they all vote, and that comes down to a tie, meaning that Zach and Amanda get to decide between the two tied teams. Amanda refuses to say her allies' names. Zach refuses to say his allies' names. As they argue, TJ tells them that if they can't decide in 10 seconds, they're going in. No reaction from you, Thomas? That's pretty exciting.
I don't care about this show anymore.
They weren't even in their jerseys. Everybody else had to get in their jerseys, but not Zach and Amanda. They were immune, but now they're not. So they argue for a few more seconds, and then Zach says, we're going in, and then stomps up next to TJ. And then they get to decide the other team to face elimination from anybody in the house. So they pick Devon and Jose because they're the only safe team left. Then TJ tells them that they won't be facing each other. They'll be facing a mercenary team. Who is? Do you have any guesses who's on the mercenary team?
I don't know, was CT in this game?
CT has already been eliminated.
Oh, CT's back. I don't know. You know,
it's a team you'll like a lot.
Is Wes there?
Wes, unfortunately, did not arrive. That would have been crazy.
My favorite British boy band was Westlife.
What a bad joke that was.
What, you didn't like my Westlife reference?
No. That's like a step below referencing O-Town. I forgot that was even a thing. Anyway, the team is Devin and Corey. So they have to face off against both teams one-on-one. And if they beat both teams, Corey and Devin win a spot in the house. And they do. So there are like 6 or 7 teams left in the house, and they're all pretty good. So the season's finally coming to a close soon. And I'm so fucking excited. Oh, but that means another Champs vs. Pros is probably right around the corner. And you like that show, right?
That's good.
Or Champs vs. Stars, right? Is that what it's called now?
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do Champs vs. Pros again. They can always do that instead of Champs vs. Stars.
Hey, as long as it's good. Thomas, before we end this episode, I will tell you, before we started recording, we talked about the bottles we had. We had a pre-record bottle check. I talked about my Blueberry Lemonade Jones soda. Got about 75% of the way through before the sugar made my stomach hurt. So I'm really glad we're at the end of the episode now.
Jake's got a tummy ache, so I believe it is time to end this.
Yeah. Doing my notes, I think I referenced this earlier, but I came up with an idea for Blood vs. Water 3. It's just parents and their kids. Pretty good idea. Hashtag reboot next. Okay, here's the thing. I'm trying to host Survivor, right? But they need to see that I can carry myself in front of the camera. What better way than to host the reboot of Next? So, hashtag reboot next, tag MTV, tag me, in all your tweets. You can follow us on Twitter, DoByWSLN is that one. Jake Scheidel is my name on that. Thomas's name is Tom Not Tom on that.
You can follow me at Tom Not Tom.
You can review us on Apple Podcasts. I said this before the season started, but I'm going to say it again. I want everybody listening to tell a friend about this podcast so we can go from being a David podcast to a Goliath podcast. Like serial.
Like we deserve.
Like we deserve. This podcast is better than that history show we were going to do. That's Thomas. I know I love you, but like honestly, that's a bad idea.
Not my best idea.
Not your best idea.
That
you came up with.
The best idea that I came up with. I take full responsibility for that.
Thank you.
I promise I'll do better next time. I realize that was not a good look for me.
Look, this is really just a workshopping podcast where we throw a lot of ideas out. Some of them stick, like me hosting Survivor when Jeff Probst retires, or the reboot of Next, or getting a tag team champion on Survivor, or getting Adam Klein to win Survivor. It's a lot of ideas that we've come up with that have come to fruition. And that's why this podcast exists. The point I'm making is not all of the ideas are going to be great. And that's okay. Because a lot of them are. And you know what the best idea is?
What's that?
To have a great summer.
Booses.
I think that I should watch TV. I used to think that it was good for me. Wanted to know what folks were thinking, to understand the land I live in. And I would lose myself and it would set me free. This is the place where